All right, so have you had enough of New Jersey? Maybe all the cold and the snow that we've had recently? I'm kind of getting a little tired of it myself. So if you're thinking about a move to, let's say, the Orlando area, I've got a great interview with Ada de Leon. She's a fantastic realtor down in the Orlando area. So if you're thinking now might be the time to just get out of New Jersey, be sure to stay tuned. We've got some great tips if you're thinking about relocating down to the Orlando area. That's coming up next. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Bob Dzienis with eXp Realty here in northern New Jersey and Bergen County. And I am so excited because I've got Ada de Leon with me. Yo hablo un poquito español, Ada. Necesito practicar. So I've got Ada de Leon.
Good.
She is with Florida Relocation Real Estate down in the Orlando area. So, Ada, I want to welcome you. I'm so excited to be talking with you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bob. I am happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I'm in Orlando now, but I used to be a realtor in New Jersey, in Woodcliff.
Yeah.
And so I moved here back in 2003. And ever since, I have moved hundreds of families here to the Orlando area.
Absolutely. So, and that's why I wanted to connect with you, because I saw your story. I knew you were from New Jersey, and then you moved to Orlando. And you know, there's just with COVID recently. Well, I haven't been recent. It's been at least a year almost.
You know, imagine that, huh?
It's crazy. It's just gone so fast, and it's the market is still kind of flexing with everything that's going on. You know, with COVID, I think so many people are making that decision. Like here in New Jersey, we are seeing such an influx of people coming from New York City and the 5 boroughs. But not only that, we are seeing people move out of the state and moving to Florida, right? It's become kind of that big decision to say, well, you know what? I can be flexible with my job. My job is allowing me to move. Hey, maybe it's time. So I saw that you were a relocation expert down there in Orlando, and I was like, oh, she's from New Jersey. Okay, let's make some connections here. So you've been down in Orlando for how long now?
18 years.
18, and you were in Waldwick prior, you said, here in Bergen County. Okay,
right,
perfect.
right.
Awesome.
Right.
What? Go ahead. You go ahead.
So I'm familiarized with that northern New Jersey area, and so that's the good thing when people, you know, find me online and they call and they want to buy here. You know, I have an idea of, you know, the different towns and what they're used to, you know, their form of life, and so I try to match that when they come here and they
Absolutely
looking for a good schools, you know, something close to their job. So that's how we do it.
Absolutely. So, and the other reason I wanted to collaborate with you is as we're having people who might potentially look to sell up here, let's get that team created so that we can start the process of educating people and connect them with you, so that when they're ready to make that move, hey, you know, it's all the better, so that they feel comfortable to get down there. That's really the whole goal. So, because we know it can be pretty stressful, right? Big decision.
Gosh, it's not only stressful, but I was telling you, when I first have the thoughts of moving to Orlando, I was afraid just to, you know, I was thinking about it, having all of these ideas, and then I would stop because I was afraid. You know, I didn't know how to go with the next step, or, you know, how things were going to turn out.
Right.
But you know, that's the difficult part when you don't know. But once you take that first step, and for us, the first step was taking a trip to Orlando. Not for, you know, because we used to come here for to Disney with the kids and all of that, but not that side of Orlando. That's like a different side of Orlando. To actually come here and, you know, scout the places that we wanted to move into, and possibly for me open up my business here, my brokerage here. So all of that process was very stressful, but once you take that first step of coming and getting to see, you know, where you're going to be or where you want to be, you know, then everything eases up and everything becomes, you know, less stressful. You go back to New Jersey with a plan. You go back with that, you know, visual of what you want to do when you come here.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, in your brokerage, you service Orlando. Is there? I know Orlando is pretty spread out, right? So I told you before we started recording that I had some family friends that are down there, and we used to go to Orlando. We used to go to the amusement parks that are there, as we know. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the Big D or not, but the DW. But so I know it's pretty spread out. So are there certain areas that you focus on, Ada, with your business? Or are you kind of all over Orlando? Like, where are you focused?
Yeah, more in the southeast of Orlando,
Southeast.
also the northeast of Orlando. I don't go as far as whatever is around me within an hour radius or 40 minutes radius, I do.
Okay. So are there specific towns? Like, what are some of the towns that you would or areas?
Orlando, the Lake Nona area, Orlando, the Avalon Park area, Hunters Creek, Metro West, that north side by Universal Studios, all of that area, Dr. Phillips area. It's a large area to cover.
Yeah, it really is. So you had said Lake Nona. Is that a really popular area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of people talk about it, right? So, a lot of people that are part of my brokerage with EXP, for instance, but Lake Nona seems to be a pretty popular area. What makes it so appealing?
All the development going on here.
Yeah.
They call it a medical city.
Okay.
Because they started with a bunch of development of hospitals.
Okay.
Hospitals, research institutes, biotech companies, anything that has to do, the health, industry. Right. Concentrated here in Lake Nona. And so that's the way to attract. And based off of that, they build the community around it.
Yeah.
So for people.
So that's a lot of medical.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Are there other industries? Is banking pretty big there? Like, what are some of the other industries that could be appealing for if someone is like moving from out of state? If they are looking for work there, I don't know. What are the other industries that are kind of in the area besides the tourism?
Well, we have Amazon is everywhere now. We have large warehouses of Amazon. One is within 5 minutes of Lake Nona.
Okay.
Then we have all of the hotel industry. It's huge, and the entertainment industry. I have a lot of my clients that came from Jersey are small business owners.
Yeah.
They are restaurant owners, grocery store owners, liquor store owners, and so for them. To come here was to basically, I'm gonna move to establish myself and my family there. So I'm gonna start looking for a place to buy, a business to own there. So we help them with that too, looking at the different areas where they can possibly establish their businesses.
Right.
And but one thing at a time. First the home, then we'll help them with that. And so there is a lot of opportunity. There are big companies, accounting firms. We have KPMG, which is...
they have a location there? Okay.
Yeah. Well, they have a headquarters here, a training place.
Oh.
People from out of the country come here to train.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's huge. But there is a lot of jobs and employment. Like I said, entertainment, hotels, medical. We have 2 large universities here, UCF.
Yeah.
And they have the medical department here in the medical college here in Lake Nona.
Okay.
And then Valencia also, it's a large, it's a community college now. It's a university, I believe, and they have several locations also.
Okay, cool. It's anything that I've read, it's just there's a lot of new construction. There's a lot of building that continues to happen down there, and I think it's because of the snowbirds, right? People are probably making that decision. Like I'm actually looking out my window right now, and I see a foot of snow that's out there that I've had to shovel the past 2 weeks, which is so much fun.
And here,
I'm over it,
Yeah. And here, the weather it's been a little crazy because we had last week, the weather on 40s, 50s, 60s, which is cold for us. And now today is supposed to go up to 85.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions in regards. So you're working as buyers are making their way down to the Orlando area. and you're working with some of these folks who are coming from my area. What would you say are some of the big pros of living in the Orlando area where you service? And are there a couple of cons that kind of any kind of feedback that you get from folks? So
yes.
what's so great about it, and what's kind of like, So
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, like I said, we have plenty of jobs. If you were to move to like the beach area, you mentioned you had friends in Rockledge. The beaches are nice and are beautiful.
Yeah.
But what else is there to do? As for someone that is looking to establish themselves and their families here, right, they need to be closer to the metro area. So Orlando has pretty much all the large corporations here. So besides that, lots of entertainment. So you'll never get tired. I mean, the quality of life is so much better. In New Jersey, once, it's 4:00, it starts getting dark. Yeah. You'll go home and that's it. The end of the day for you.
It's cold. You don't want to go outside. Yeah, it's just exhausting.
So you come home from work, you relax in the back patio, you take a couple of, wine, whatever. You still have things to do with your family because it's still daylight, it's still nice and sunny out there.
Right.
And so there is so much more to do. So the quality of life, that's a big one for us. That was a big one for us.
Oh, sure. Right. It's kind of the biggest factor, I would imagine. What about cost of living if you were to compare? I mean, the taxes here in New Jersey have continued to go up, and many of the towns here in Bergen County in particular, I mean, $22,000 a year in property taxes. So
exactly.
What are taxes like down there?
Oh my goodness.
Can I get a house 4 times the size of what I would pay for, $500,000 here, I'm sure.
Yeah. You're talking for a $300,000 home, new construction, you'll be paying probably $4,500 to $5,000 a year.
A year.
And if you're talking, something more than that, then maybe $7,000 a year.
Wow.
So taxes, it's really, really low.
Yeah.
Now, as far as homeowners insurance, we're also on the low end.
Okay.
Because we don't live by the beaches. So when hurricane time comes,
right,
all we get is rain. A lot of rain, wind, but that's pretty much it. So
speaking of that, is here in my area, we have flooding issues, right? Not everywhere, but FEMA has come in from time to time and they rezone pretty consistently. Is there anything that, someone leaving New Jersey, would they have to be conscious of? So for instance, is hurricane insurance needed, or is that a requirement, or is it just kind of like, you might want to get to, I don't even know if hurricane insurance exists. I'm sure it does. I don't know. But are there other things that, would be required or that you would recommend if somebody was moving into the state?
Yeah. Well, the hurricane, we have all of the insurance policies. What they do is they cover it, but they have a big deductible, like a 2% deductible on your policy.
Okay.
But they mostly all of them have it.
Okay.
Now, the good thing, like I said, is in this area, the insurance is much lower as if you were to move to the beach by the shore, any town around the beach line. Miami is expensive.
Yeah.
Miami is expensive. Not only the taxes, the homeowners insurance, the cost of life.
I went to school there. I went to University of Miami. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And I miss it, but you're right. It's expensive.
It is expensive, and you do get that. The hurricane. It's closer, so it's more expensive.
Gotcha.
Another, if we're talking about the bad things, sometimes my clients, and I experience this myself, the bad drivers. You have a lot of bad drivers.
We have very fast drivers.
This is, Orlando is one of the, tourist places, capital of the world, tourist places here. And so we have, people coming from all over the place. Some of them speak the language, barely.
Yeah.
And they rent cars. So they're out there trying to figure things out with the signs, trying to read it and, what does it say? Can't even understand it. The speed limits, all of that.
Right.
So we get that, the bad drivers.
Yeah.
But I think that is closer to the tourist areas as opposed to more of the suburban areas.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. Anything else? So if somebody was to consider a move to, let's say that they were going to buy a house, they were going to completely just relocate and say, New Jersey, I'm out, right? That's it. I'm moving to Florida. And they were able to maybe get a job transfer, that kind of stuff. Anything that they need to be aware of, kind of those upfront pieces that they should be conscious of, so that, when it comes to planning that whole move, like what would be kind of those upfront requirements, and what would you recommend people do if this is something that they're thinking about doing?
Well, the first thing is they have to contact a realtor.
Yeah. Hey, I know one down in Florida. I know one right in Orlando there.
Yeah. Because that's essential, because now you have the job, right? So you know where you're moving to. Mm-hmm. So now you have to concentrate, on the locations, the good areas around your job. So what best, the realtors that know the areas to move you around.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's the most important part, is the education, right? So you have a great YouTube channel that I've seen. So, I'll definitely put a link to your channel so that people can get some ideas about your areas that you focus on and that kind of stuff. So I'll definitely embed that into the video. Anything else in regards to job transfers, right? So, do they just need to kind of, if someone was able to get a job transfer, they just need to, any kind of documentation or anything that they need to show or prove, or any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah. As far as getting their loan commitment, the loan approval, the lenders are going to require that a letter, transfer letter. Yeah. And with that, then, everything else is pretty much the same as any other, local buyer. Yeah.
Gotcha. So also give me some perspective. So you're not far. How far are you from the beach? Like if somebody wanted to go to, does Ron John still exist in Cocoa Beach? The store?
Yes.
It's still there? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It hasn't moved.
Yeah. So Cocoa Beach is 45 minutes, if that?
35, 40 minutes from here.
Okay. And then Daytona's not too far, right?
Right. Like an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour. You were talking about, what else is there here? The NASA is a big, right. And we get in this location where we are of Orlando, Lake Nona, we get a lot of people that are, coming to work there, looking to purchase here. Oh. Even though they're 35 minutes, 40 minutes away from NASA, they still like the area because of the schools. We have one of the best schools in the area here. And I can say that from Orlando, in general, because we only have a handful of good schools in the area. Okay. So here, the high school, the middle schools have some really, really good programs. The kids can take the AP classes. They can do dual enrollment, which means that you graduate with an associate's degree.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
And Lake Nona, the high school and the college where they're going to do their credits is right across the street. So the kids that want to do that dual enrollment, all they do is cross the street and do the classes, college classes.
Right. That's awesome.
It's really good. It's really good. And so people that, have these jobs away, from Orlando, maybe 35 minutes away from Orlando, they still choose to live here because of that.
How's, so with all of this construction and people moving in, COVID has really kind of settled things and people aren't always out and about.
We live in Florida.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh my God. Actually, when they see me with masks around here, they look at me weird because it's Florida. So we're out and about, and a lot of people are out and about.
Oh, really? So I was going to ask you about traffic. So if COVID wasn't happening, what's traffic like in the Orlando area?
It's pretty heavy. Yeah. They're always expanding the roads. Mm-hmm. Right now, I-4 is always under construction because they continue to expand and expand. Wow. Yeah. It's pretty busy, and that's why people want to be within that driving distance.
Right.
I get a lot of phone calls from New York, and people looking at homes that are, priced really, really good, like under 200 or 200 or 250, huge houses. And they're like, I want to buy there. I'm like, okay, yeah, are you sure you want to live there? Because you're going to be driving to Orlando about an hour or more, each way.
Right.
And so, so they need to know that, sometimes you do things online that are not really what you think or what you expect.
Absolutely. So I totally agree. I think the best approach is connecting someone with you, like especially if they're considering a move from New Jersey here. Yeah. And like I said earlier, it's important to kind of get that team together, but nothing like hearing it from someone who's lived in the area and knows the area versus you doing Google searches and that kind of stuff, right? So you might have an idea, but
you just gotta get used to the hot weather here.
Yeah.
It's always hot and humid, except for the beautiful months of November, December, January, and February. Everything else is hot and humid.
Yeah.
You gotta
thank goodness for air conditioning when I lived in Florida. So, and if I visited my friends in the summer in Rockledge, I'm like, whoa. It was hot, so.
And that's another thing that I tell people, because sometimes they come and they ask for huge pieces of land. They want something big. They want something. I'm like, are you sure you want that? Because you're going to have the maintenance. You're going to be doing this on 100-degree weather.
Right.
So that you really want to be outside. Taking care of that. So.
Yeah.
Those are things that they once you tell them, sometimes they're like, okay, you open my eyes. Now I know.
Yeah. Any other tips for someone? I mean, my recommendation is always, if someone is relocating to like your area, for instance, I feel like they need to see it, right? So they should really kind of explore, travel down there a couple of times. Is that a good recommendation? Is that something you recommend as well?
Definitely. Even if you can only come here once.
Yeah.
Once you kind of know the location, even if you go back, when you go back, you're going to start searching for houses that come up in that area.
Yeah.
So all you need to do now is, for us, is simple, because I know that you like this area. So now we're going to concentrate on that area. When something comes up, it doesn't last very long, a day or two, and it's under contract.
Right.
I'm going to be there taking a video, making sure that you see everything, not just the pretty front of the house, but I'm going to show you the air conditioning. I'm going to show you the garage, all the components that you don't see online, because you don't see that online.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about the area, whether it's a flood zone area, whether it's, I don't know if you heard about the sinkholes.
Yeah, and I've seen those on the news. Yeah.
There are areas, not so much here in the Orlando metro area, but if you go towards Lakeland, Haines City, going towards Tampa, there's some towns there where, for some reason, sinkholes show up.
Interesting.
So, we tell people about this. It's their choice whether they want to move there or not. But we do kind of give them the what's good and what's bad about the area.
Right. And the other thing that I know, go ahead, finish.
Because I was going to say, because when you move families here, actually it's been my case, they become your friends. They rely on you for everything. Absolutely. And so I treat them as my family, as my friends, because they're going to be there for my clients for life, pretty much. And they are.
Yeah.
I have people coming back to buy other houses and reselling and buying and selling.
Yeah.
Sending friends and family over, and so that's the way we grow our business.
Absolutely.
So I don't, I've never had someone tell me that you brought me to the wrong place.
Right.
Or I'm not happy.
So you really do the due diligence with them to understand their needs and focus on those areas. It's so important, right? Because it's very challenging to pick yourself up and say, okay, I'm moving down there, without doing proper research and visiting and all of those things. Right. So I think it's really
all it takes is just making that time to come here and at the properties, and we'll help you with scheduling, booking a hotel, booking a car rental.
Yeah.
Whatever you need, we're here for that.
All right, cool. So I want to finish up here, Ada. Maybe just tell us a little bit about your brokerage. So how many agents do you have? that kind of stuff.
We are actually not a big brokerage.
Okay.
We have 7 agents, and between buyers and listing agents, and we're growing. And this year, hopefully, we're gonna double that because I'm looking into recruiting a lot more people.
Well, the way the market has been, right? There's just so much activity that's out there.
Yeah. And that's the thing that you guys, the public needs to be aware that there is a lot of realtors out there. There is a lot of realtors out there that are not trained, that don't know what they're doing, that this is their first deal. And so you don't want them to practice on you. Because this is a major transaction,
Absolutely.
And so sometimes people tell me, oh, I have my friend, or I have my cousin, or somebody in the family is a realtor. Well, be cautious, because you don't mix family and business.
And honestly, like, what if you had to fire that person, right? And they're a family member, so it happens. Right? Like, oh, I want to throw you some business, but so you want a professional, you want someone who's going to be able to help you. Absolutely. So makes total sense. So 7 brokers or 7 agents at this time, and you're looking to expand it.
I'm looking to expand. Yes.
All right, cool.
Actually, I have a couple of the people that I even moved here that didn't know what else to do, and then I'm gonna get my real estate license. Okay.
One of the things I love, and then we'll close up here, is here in New Jersey we have to use real estate attorneys, right? In my part of New Jersey. You guys don't use attorneys, right? You just kind of work directly with title. Is that kind of how it works? It seems to go much faster.
It does. Oh my goodness. Yes, you could close a deal within days. But
here it's like, oh my gosh, it could drag for a while.
But I do understand people that come from the Northeast or other states, and they want to use attorneys, and we do have attorneys to refer them to.
Okay. But it's their choice if they want to utilize one.
Yeah. Some people do, like Boston, New Jersey. They're used to attorneys, so that's fine.
Yeah. I just love it because it seems like it goes much faster for you, so compared to us up here. So.
Yeah.
All right. So Ada, I hope that we can get some business going. I would love to, as I'm working with some sellers up here, I would love to work with you if they're considering your area, the Orlando area. We'll definitely make some connections and start that team to kind of get people educated, because this is a big decision. So, you helping them to kind of make that transition really could be a wonderful thing as people are just making those choices. So, so Ada de Leon, it was a pleasure talking to you. I really enjoyed our conversation. I'm looking forward to doing some potential business and maybe some referral business. And you're with Florida Relocation Real Estate down in Orlando.
I would love that, Bob. Thank you so much for having me.